Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, if you wanna jam.
When I was a teenager, I never smiled in pictures. They call it the cool pose. We didn't title it as masculinity, just simply being a man. Men don't smile, so my expressions became gestures. Actions speak louder than words, but pressure can speak to your soul in dark holes. I wallowed in the pits of power. So who could cry tears of Rosetta Stone because the language has been dangerous? It's a whole range of us silenced by expectations, but we walk this ground kicking dirt like the land hurt us. When you're young, the world always ridicules you. I walked all over judges regardless of how they feel. My blood even had a stench of pride. All that jazz couldn't take it off my fingers. The fresh prints destroyed my pursuit of happiness, but fuck it. We perpetrated and embraced dark like cracked out facts, drawing shots of NyQuil for peace. This mad is sin through intent. Razor tracks extract from lights. Jury is out on that. I'm thinking black. I'm black, I'm black, I'm black, black casket match, the black suit coordinated with the black skin and black heart within. They say when it turns black, it's rotten. Make me wish I was light skinned. Can't be a superstar with troubles though. That don't fit the mold. Warm body trapped in cold, always on go, trapped in glow. It's smoke and the garden isn't water, so it never flows. We don't get our flowers, so we become ravaged roses. So at least there's something beautiful there when I die. It's morbid, but absorb it as it courses through streams inside you to filter beams inside you. So your chakras are just rocks outside a psychologist's office. There's no diamond in the rough. We sparkle anyway, but not seen amongst rubble like a diamond in the rough. We scuffed up from buried treasure like a diamond in the rough. Black sketches etched in gems covered up. The little light of mine is still gonna shine when everything seems fucked up. I'm like a diamond in the rough. My mind is instilled with permanent damage, the kind that says that if I didn't heal, it's guarantee I'd be killed. Nights like this, been this black man, and you could never understand, trapped in a world where we supposed to be balanced and masculine and feminine, but it's criticism forcing decisions. So what's written is incision. How could you factor in something you couldn't even fathom? Begin to imagine every space you run to is negated of safe. It's a red state because it's blood everywhere, and in the midst of it is a black man, exhausted, but still running. In the mind of a defeated man, surely there was never much there to start. If he can train himself to, he can vent through art. But doing your best is an acid-filled water can. The things in his eyesight are all illusions planned. Overcoming is a falsehood with which we've agreed to be apart. Scathing tongues could make a kiss bitter or tart, but the importance of effort is always nullified in short spans. To be or not to be, that is the question. The answer is always work based on assumptive gesture. Is there a way to recapture the flame without a spark? The mind of a man is mystery rooted in perception. Early mornings are often filled with last night's thoughts that fester. What's set in the light could alter it and leave you in the dark. It's been years since comfort could find safe space. Implanted firmly are society's unreasonable expectation. Be human, but not because you need to be more than face. I could lead you to water, but it would levitate this period of gestation. Apologies. Laid at your feet because where else do we keep disappointment? but I know that look in your eyes is blatant familiarity. The connection is fractured, a clear example of disjointment, assimilations of love because I learned it in sincerity. Could you believe me to possibly attain peace? You just want my smile, my body, my spirit, my heart, my soul, but you'll find yourself in my past as everything will soon cease. And if you find yourself wondering if this has taken a toll, then you have failed to understand why I'm here. And because of this, our end was always near. You could see it coming for miles, reminiscent of days I remembered having dreams. Sunset horizons remind me of you when it smiles. In this moment, I acknowledged confusion, it seems. If we could only be spotlighted by love beams, my heart was yours for the taking. You ignored love languages sewn in seams. We watched the shifts of autumn raking, but our feelings are ours for the making. We could repair what isn't alignment or fall victim to wounded spirits aching. Plant seeds in our environment. Conceive through growth of peace at night, a conjointment, a spirituality and light. Crazy to think about the people we may have never met because of suicide. The people who were on the opposite path and that at some point we were bound to collide had they just had that something to give them the okay to try and survive. I get it. It's all the worst things that play their part as ingredients to mental illness, a recipe that changes doses based off the right medication that suits you. Speaking of suits, I went to my first funeral when I was in elementary school. A younger cousin of mine died a little over a month before he turned 2. He's one of, well, at least at the time of this poem, 24 funerals. One of 38 deaths. Only 6 of them made it past their 60s, which means I probably got about 25 years left, but we have to subtract because a good third of the list were men. And out of the 3 that made it out of their 40s, only 1 was Ken. So that 25 years dropped significantly to really, we don't know when. You want to speak positivity into the universe, but the future can't contend with the present's truth. So there's no way out of this life where I don't lose. I'm glad I made it out of my 20s, but today's youth is proof age ain't nothing but a number, and ours are being picked like a war draft. I get tired so often from the battles I fight, even the ones you don't see that keep me up at night. Had a slugfest with insomnia, and it hits like a ton of bricks. Depression is a bitch because it sneaks me every chance it gets. Joined forces with bipolar. Now this shit is a 3-on-1, and I'm outnumbered, and there's only so long you can fight before you, well, take your pick. Get shot, go to jail, get beat to death, put through hell. But I better get used to that climate because I sin too. We just die and die and die, but we don't get credit for being great at it. Hell, amazing even, but maybe that isn't odd enough because statistics don't mean shit outside sports. We just get temporary acknowledgement with headlines, which is bullshit because they only remember us by our killer most times, which is bullshit because it negates anything prior in our lives. It's all bullshit. I tried to die, but I failed. Maybe I'm not black after all. It's hard to tell. If I'm successful, I'm a sellout. If I'm unsuccessful, then I'm a bum. If I'm in between, I'm not doing enough. When does my solace come? Women don't want weak men, and I've lost a lot of strength fighting, biting at anything I could survive off of. My stomach feels like desperation. My heart feels like barely thriving, knifing through my soul with my own sharp tongue. My taste buds are confused because misery is so filled with flavor, but it all tastes like abandonment. I'm not supposed to be here. My mom was done having kids. I almost died days after my birth. I nearly drowned. As a child, I took a knife to my wrist and tried to free myself from my black skin. Same old song. This list goes on, whispers in my ear when I just want to be alone. Silence echoes with the words asking, why are you here? Why are you hearing these things? You've been ungrateful because people would love to be you and in charge, like we see the general eyes looking away from the specifics, but it's all about the details. If you look at the big picture, you'll miss everything.
What are you going to do with this freedom once you get it? Will the fire in your belly be snuffed out, resolved to exist as a rueful automaton, a roof over your head and food in your stomach? You may become listless, apathetic, unmotivated. What are you going to do when you're completely content, as struggling through your days becomes a thing of the past, dying by the emptiness of your fallen convictions? Your dispiriting passion curdles, a clipped tree, a lonely stump, now inhuman. Will you sing the praises of those that saved you? Will you kiss their rings and bow to their altar? Your penchant for nurturing your own vitality wanes, possessing a now sedentary body unfurled on a mattress, atrophied legs outstretched. TV blares as you witness no more atrocity, but the media continues to twist and contort lies broadcast globally. Did you just trade in for a different kind of misery, swapping sides for another form of anxiety? You are the purveyor of ignorance, recipient of a recalculation as the bill always comes due. Time to pay your tab, clock out from a gut-wrenching job, tell your boss to fuck off and take a hike. As you lay there and soak in your skin, you are reminded of the days where hard-won battles gave you purpose as your own internalized war blooms.
Is this the end of days? Or is this unnerving quiet the eye of the storm? That one moment of weightlessness before gravity reclaims what's hers. I've fallen before, streaked across a red sky. I know what it is to make a crater, to crawl out, broken but breathing still. I know what it is to yearn, to want to live again, to walk upright and seize my second chance. Maybe there's some grief. Maybe I will never be the man I once was. Maybe I think the change unfairly violent. My head still rings from the impact, a resonance that feels like it will last a lifetime. I've had to carve out caskets for the parts of me that didn't survive the crash. And it's so hard to show you where it hurts, when all the damage is in my head, not imagined but starkly real, thoughts caught in a tangled net of neurons. I've let them hurt me to make me better. When do we first start letting practitioners make incisions and attach electrodes? I let the bastards turn me off. Am I not better now? Has there not been healing? Perhaps the cataclysm was necessary to begin the metamorphosis, however painful. And hell, I probably could use the humbling. Don't we all need some time in the mud we've made? A reminder this crown comes with a cost and can be taken away? Forgive me if I shake my fists at the sky. We have an understanding. There's not a scar I have he hasn't seen. I find myself at the edge of one life, watching another slowly recede. A world that continues without me, where everyone is moving on. I've said my goodbyes, waved to those who were watching, smiled, cried, and remembered. I'm tired of grief. Take these shrouds away. I stand ready to resume the climb and feel the quickened heartbeats as we reach skyward towards home, wherever that may prove to be.
In the early stages of dementia, some individuals have confusion and sleeplessness in the late evening hours. This is referred to as sundowning, not to be confused with the sundown town, where the Black folks were advised to leave town before the late evening hours, lest they be met with violence. Sundowners begin to forget little things. Where are my keys? What day is it? Who are you? But they seem to remember niggas ain't supposed to be there at night. Mima can't hold on to her bowels, but hold on to her hatred like a Bible, like the toe tag she's bound to wear. That boy over there, he keeps whistling at me. She remembers the lie, but not why she told it. Left the truth in the Tallahatchie with the body and only one resurface. Mima sees the ghost of racist past. That boy there, his sisters had the nicest dresses. So I made sure they had a funeral to wear them to. When I die, bury me in the most beautiful dress, casket sharp enough to break the silence. Let my repast be a picnic, like old times. I like my dark meat with a little char. Don't worry, Mima is sundowning again. Can't sleep because she sees all the niggas she wrongs when she closes her eyes, and suddenly, the nursing home becomes a sundown town, where the sundowners can't remember their own kids, but can't forget the babies cut from hanging bodies before their eyes. Don't you let that woman touch me. I done told you I need a white doctor. I don't need all that DEI running around. Never mind that she's ready to DIE, afraid the staff will seek revenge for their ancestors. It's funny how there's always a deathbed confession, but no apology. It's as if the racists come out at night, daydreaming of days past, and somewhere around 5 p.m. This poem begins sundowning, remembering all the things America wants us to forget, like a sundown town where the country brought Black folk here to work in the summer sun, but don't expect them to still be there when the sun go down. And I'm supposed to have a sunny disposition, my own form of dementia. When your Meemaw forgets my name but calls me nigga instead, waging war, these wages don't pay me enough to keep the sun from setting. So whether the sundown is a town or a person, just know I held on long enough. But this time, I refuse to let the sun beat me home.
No, no, no. All hell in a handbasket has broken loose, and heaven is nowhere to be found. In the lost and found, no one gives a damn until you start acting like a fool. No one gives a damn about your baby having a 101 fever until you get heated. No one gives a damn about your partner putting hands on you because you're an enabler. You walked right into that punch. It takes two to tango, foxtrot, whiskey, violence that's domestic and foreign. No one gives a damn about migrants until they go to buy avocados from Mexico, and the inflated price of satisfying their ego is holy guacamole. No one gives a damn about double dipping when they're always serving at the party, but never allowed to partake and be a part of the party. No one gives a damn about being invited to the cookout when the beast is seeking to fill its belly. No one gives a damn because this is the era of no one gives a fuck. No one has given a damn since Florida Evans said, damn, damn, damn. You want me to give a damn? Well, damn. It takes a village of the damned to raise an inner child of the corn addicted to high fructose syrup. Artificially flavored breakfast condiment in a miniature coffin-shaped plastic tub with peel-back foil poured over overly processed institutional-shaped pancakes. This was the insult added to the injury of never being served Aunt Jemima. And now, as an adult, able to truly foster care for myself and finally afford myself being reunited with family, they erase my Aunt Jemima. Shit. No one gives a damn about Pearl Mill Baking Company.
Call it quake calm, that stillness liquid spell skin, the pause that puddles beneath doorways, makes hinges reevaluate and thresholds hold their breath. The silence adjusted its weight, as if making space for a name it once knew. She stepped through rhythm, dripping prayer and premonition, named by a sound the world hadn't earned yet. A mouth aged in minor keys, tongue lacquered in thunder syrup, sweet with syllables that slip translation but stain the walls when spoken. When I come near, air folds, floorboards flinch, light stiffens, as if even glow knows how to brace. The room exhales like it's been fasting for a god and caught my scent mid-sentence. Tongue tuned in the key of collision, hips that curve scripture into new punctuation. Every sway writes something down in a language no one admits remembering. Call me what thunder whispers when it circles a name too heavy to carry twice. I was forged in the aftershocks of Don't Start None and raised where side eyes become psalms. Voice lined with molasses menace. Smile, sunset dipped in side effects. You feel it before you hear it. You hear it before you believe it. I choreograph stillness, hold silence like a relic. No need for mass metaphors, just memory and open rebellion, carrying names that never belonged in cages. Cadence comes to me barefoot, carrying offerings. I reroute rhythm, make it double back just to find me, lace it around my throat and make it wait for permission to speak. Now say grace with the part of your voice you buried at 13. Say my name like you're breaking a curse and it's working. I taught myself to pray in 3 languages, one to hold, one to hex, one to burn the map and remember the way anyway. And when I speak, markets tilt, mouths twitch, mirrors sweat, myths unbutton, time forgets how to count. This voice rewrites the law. This voice moves worlds. And even after the sound stepped out of the sentence, something remained. The walls breathe like they know better now. And when the moment folds back in on itself, when the world traces its tremble to the mouth that made memory tremble, they won't say it. They won't point. But something older than language will lean in, smiling like a secret too big for sound, and say, nothing knocks like this. Mic drop.
My brain is a place of deep concern to me. My brain is a place of butterflies and octopi. You haven't seen a place such as this, and I am so happy for you. You tell me to smile and chalk it all up to my negative attitude, that when I text you to say I feel sick, that I am afraid of the coat hanger snagging the uterus and bleeding me out, of random murder, of sexual demons, of all the roadkill, you say I think too much. You say maybe we shouldn't be friends, because when I am this negative, it's upsetting to you. I'm sorry for this. I'm sorry I cannot fix my slippery gray cell patina, the smile slime of a Barbie doll on acid, the cool way I snort up the powder of suicide, the way I drink myself to oblivion, decimate my skeleton on the cliff of hopelessness. I fall short. When it comes to being in the world like a good girl, I am terrible at it because I am hurting in my brain. And then you say, I'm a lot to handle and you need some time, space away from me. I'm sorry for this. I don't think I can be normal for you. It's agony to feel the driveway gravel puncturing my knees as I wait for things to get better. As I beg God to turn me around, let him spank me red, raw, or kiss the toes of his son, you know I would. Go outside and let the cold burn me, as if I could pasteurize the fetid illness, freeze the chlamydia, the rot, the yellowed liver, the brain disease. I want to be the chickadee who freezes to death on the shimmering pine branch, falls from her perch without ever knowing of death, without ever feeling a goddamn thing. And I am so sorry for this.
Some days I am the boulder, and it is in my nature to roll down and crush the hapless while I'm breaking apart. Some days I am the house at the base of the hill, just waiting. These crumbling walls are the best I can do. Some days I am the swarm. 1,000 negative thoughts blot out the sun, my ears full of wind and wings, stinging and swelling. Some days I am the rabbit, some the wolf, predator and prey, mixed in blood, instincts of flame, running. Some days I am the rocks the waves crash upon, all violent defiance and impact, slowly wearing away. Some days I am the inexorable certainty of the ocean. I am the deep and dark old one slumbering down there somewhere. I am stratospheric ups and unfathomable downs. I am kindness wrapped in fear, happiness in tears. I am limitation, sacrifice, but I am hope. Some days I am the sky full of thunderheads, threatening. I turn weather vanes passing through. Some days I am the night and all it hides. Some days I am not these things. I'm just a man pushing a boulder back up a hill.
My friends say, "Hey, it's Friday. We outside." But I make up some excuse. My stomach hurts. The truth is, my paycheck is the one hungry, eyes bigger than its own stomach, and swallowed itself up in rent, bills, groceries, if I'm lucky, some type of instant gratification. I swear each paycheck is another lover that reminds me of the last something I forgot to cherish. And damn, I wish we spent more time together. Like for once, I wish we would make love at night and she still be there the next morning. I need a paycheck with assets so fat you could see it from the front. Or the next payday. I've been living paycheck to paycheck. Like, I'm afraid of commitment. And some days I worry I'll come home to everything on the curb. Like, go be with that other paycheck if it makes you happy. I just want a paycheck to be my peace, to last, to stay even when I treat it wrong. I done took a paycheck for granted and ended up with none. Now I'm just chasing a bag I can settle for. Because don't you have to settle to be grounded?
Ever since I turned 45, I feel the effects of 47, old and riddled with scurvy, lacking vitamin C. Compassion and circulation don't flow. My heart is off beat. My head is full of craziness. My nightmares spill into daydreams. While dozing off to the Clip song FICO, I dream of a wall of full-length W9s. Each one's net appears gross looking, enough to turn Medusa into stone. Call them what you will. Pay stubs, proof of income, evidence of my big brother taking advantage of me, bending me over 52 times a year, and apologizing for the abuse every April. Stick Up Kids is out to tax season is the cruelest month. The removal of April from the Julian calendar happens in my dream. A late breaking news story scrolls across the ticker as Julia Child's Julienne's purple carrots because my medical bracelet says I'm allergic to orange. And I'm not to be served anything with tang. However, sweet and salty is fine. And I see Marvin Gaye standing over a mirror that has fallen horizontally and it's topped with white substances. And while the song Flying High and the friendly skies plays on the overhead speaker, I bend my head down and serve as a stunt double sniffer for Mr. Sexual Healing. I don't know if I'm sniffing the sugar, the salt, or the anthrax. Whatever it is, it can't be worse than the cocaine. This is my reasonable service. My father was murdered. Marvin was murdered by his father. In a trauma competition, he trumps me. I will take the L's. Look, listen, logically, this is why, in certain horror movies, the first order of business is the removal of all mirrors.
If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it even make a sound? Better yet, let me ask you this. If a man breaks in his own home and no one believes him, did anyone hear the sound of his soul collapsing? Our sons have been taught pain in private language, stitched into their jawline, buried beneath flexed muscles and folded arms where a bruise is renamed clumsy. A cracked rib is passed off as a game day injury, and a swollen eye is blamed on the job. Manhood was handed to them like a gag order. Be unbreakable. Be unbothered. Be a wall nobody checks for cracks. So he became a fortress, but every fortress eventually learns stones can bruise. He married the storm thinking he'd shelter her. Never thought the thunder would sleep in her palms, wielding fist of fury. Her apologies smell like lavender, but her rage smelled like copper and drywall dust. The neighbors heard furniture screaming against walls, but never called his name victim. Tell me why a man with a split lip still apologized for bleeding on the carpet. Why he tapes himself back together with silence and calls it being strong. Why he hides the fingerprints she left on his throat like love notes too shameful to be read aloud. He went to work in long sleeves in August heat, claimed the purple spilling across his ribs came from b-ball courts, as if concrete slabs ever had whispered, "You're nothing without me." We hand men the phrase "man up" like it's a first aid kit, then blame them for dying quietly. America would rather picture him as a hammer than admit he could ever be a nail. Abuse doesn't change its appetite just because the target grows a beard. It still chews through dignity, still fattens itself on fear, still calls itself love when bruises bloom. Stop asking why he stayed. Start asking why we built a world where his screams isn't considered believable, but her cries a wolf are. To every man that's had to bite down on his own name, who's taped silence between clenched teeth so neighbors don't hear the tremor in his prayers, your pain is not a punchline. Your survival is not a secret you owe to shame, and abuse does not make you less of a man. This month's purple ribbon bleeds for you too. Step into the light. You deserve daylight. You deserve a future that doesn't flinch every time someone reaches for your face. You are not invisible. You are evidence. Survival wears many faces. Your voice is the reckoning that answers the forest back, proving when a man falls, the world should shake.
They arrive in chorus, jaws lacquered in liberty, boots breaking bread with the bones of their brethren, tongue kissing the Constitution while carving commandments in the flesh of former friends. Their eyes, pearled in power, pupils dilated from the sweet scent of one more fractured alliance. Throats lined with silk-stuffed slogans, spitting scripture soaked in gasoline, kneeling only when it's time to gut the next lamb in the name of the Republic. Let the record show they came dressed to dine, tied knots of red, starched white lies, lapels laced with blue blood loyalty, chandeliers drip of last year's tears, tablecloth created from classified cables, and in the center, a roasted bipartisan beast, spine still twitching. Watch them slip off the robes of restraint, unzip diplomacy down the spine, toss civility into the pit like the cheap mink it is. Tonight, they feast. Someone lights a cigar off a burning bridge, another pours bourbon over filibustered flesh, then drinks straight from a boot once worn by Lincoln. The long table groans under the weight of unspoken allegiances. The intern with the innocent eyes is now a centerpiece painted in campaign colors, lipstick smudged by executive orders. One carves with rhetoric, one sprinkles salt from subpoenas, one toast to the tyrant whose name none dare pronounce aloud, yet all wear tattooed inside their lips. Knives sliding smooth, they fillet integrity with surgical smiles, rip civility from collarbone to pelvis, serve it with a reduction of remorse and a garnish of denial. The entree, spine split open, stuffed with electoral stuffing and an echo of a whistleblow. They chew with elegance. Every crunch, a campaign promise. They drink scandal by the chalice. Vintage year now. Sip slow from glasses fogged by misinformation. Press lips to the rim as if confessing a secret. No one prays here. They pledge. Their God is gavel-shaped, wields no justice, only judgment passed between clenched teeth, behind handshakes sharp to shivs. See them, knee-deep in compatriot entrails, laughing like children in red-stained snow. The TV flickers. The anchor's tie is too tight. Words drip down the screen in slow pixels. Breaking. Civil discourse found dismembered in the back of a limousine, more at 11. The crowd claps, not for justice, but for the show. We scroll like mourners, tap hearts like offering plates, say thoughts and prayers with the reverence of a middle finger. Every click, another crucifix erected for a fallen ideology. They speak in tongues now, words twist like oil snakes, gospel gurgled through golden grills, their mouths rivers of molten law. One pulls out a mirror, sees himself, and still bites in. When the plates are clean, and the hearts are gone, they sit in the shameless silence of fullness. And in the distance, we, the voyeur congregation, the spectators of sacrament and slaughter, ask ourselves, did we vote for this?
Let me unwind your mind and take you out of the box that you put yourself in. Once awakened, you will move as such, and your mind will never sleep again. Honey, that woman don't look like what she been through. As women, we hold each other to a certain accountability. We had to vibe and connect together in ways that first allowed us to be friends. And we make sure we show love, loyalty, and respect to just them. You know, your mother, sister, cousin, aunties, and best friends. Now, I'm not trying to tell you not to love on your faves, because, honey, I love on mine. But God wants us to love everyone. That means no one left behind. Sometimes we forget that life is lifing all the time, and not just to us. As women, we don't often recognize the hate we afflict on those we can't relate with. Us women can be some very harsh individuals. We dismiss people from what we can physically see. And if we don't like the inner you, dismiss you would be. Never really knowing the treasures that hide within, most women hate their own reflection. So if we remind them of them, that counts us in. We make people earn love that God gives for free. Then be upset when they decline the fee. See, you know the never know the pages within a book unless you open it up to take a look. You don't know how that woman had to fix her crown alone. See, you may not had to fix yours on your own with heartbreaks and letdowns that came with tears that burned her face. That pain that may have took forever to erase. Yet we often judge from mannerisms in the way we think you should and shouldn't be, never knowing the story that you as a woman had to pave in this world that's filled with so much hate. See, manipulation and being narcissistic are toxic traits that could have put that woman in her grave. Yes, we really do choose what we tolerate depending on who it is. You know our special people list. But as women, we have to learn to lift each other up. No matter who she is, where she lives, her height, weight, or education, we let labels mistake us into seeking validation. And for those who would never really care. So I'll say this to every woman near or far. If I ever tore you down when you felt tall and made you feel very small, I apologize for it all from the bottom of my heart. This time around, I'll take better care of me because heal people, heal people. Now, I wish I knew that from the start. But here is a story just to help you understand that nothing is what it seems from the outside looking in. At birth from the hospital, she didn't go home. Her mother named her after her grandmother and told her to take her as her own. Tables turned, and grandma wanted to be grown. She told her daughter, no, you take care of your own. Things began to happen. Before the little girl was 1 year, she had already been molested. In the beginning of her preteen, she was told she had no virginity. This put the little girl mind on pause for no one to restart. Trauma turned her soft heart hard and cold. Only God could restore that little girl's soul. Yet she poured love into others that she never received herself. This made the devil angry. Everything he tried, no success, 2 suicide attempts, yet she still lives. Truth is, there's so much more to this story. She now serves God and lives in his glory. And trust me, I know this to be true because the story I told with effortless flow is my own truth. And no, I'm not telling it to seek sympathy from you. But as women, we have to understand if you see anyone's crown slipping and about to fall, catch it before it drops. You don't even have to let her know it was off. So her world doesn't have to stop because trust me, what she been through, she don't show. So let that lady glow, glow, glow. You don't know what made her who she is today. No matter the road she had to take, we thank God she walks by faith. And even though my journey is not yet through, I pray that I be the rose that stay red. That means never losing the color God gave me or you. Now, you may have judged this book, but I pray you never judge another because we are women. We are supposed to empower each other. And now that I have unwound your mind and took you out of the box that you put yourself in, you are now awakened and released.
Outside my window, there is a huge raccoon who eats live chicks by the light of the moon. He taunts me, mean, as he plucks them clean, ice shards for teeth. Those chicks are my babies. It makes me weep to think how they suffered. I don't want to talk about what I should have done, how I should have run outside, How I should have grabbed the gun. How I should have run to you when you were suffering. I was suffering too. Afraid of the toilet, the witch who lived in it. If I shit, she would stick me with a needle. So anal retentive, I spent my young years holding the crap inside. Then I grew chubby, white, and blubbery. Breasts grew swollen as rotten melons. Then I got raped, eaten alive by a human raccoon. Ice shards for teeth. By the light of a Horan post-on moon, I don't like what you're doing to me, I whimpered. Just a 16-year-old virgin on a downhill slide to last a lifetime. Who knew I would miss all those years I shit my pants? Those were the easy ones. Hell, those were the good times. Now all I hope for is to live long enough to help my children have good lives. Doesn't matter that I want to die. It's no longer about me, it's about the young children who are scared to go to the bathroom, who are scared of the dark, who are scared of angry parents that yell and they cower like storm-ravaged sunflowers. I am the evil ogre that should get locked up. But who then would stroke their ochre cheeks of suede at night as they risk the closing of their eyes and lay there, small souls exposed to the evil teeth of the night? And they whimper, "Good night, little ones. Mama's here. Sleep tight."
Hello, and thank you for calling Melanin Matters. If you think you have reached this number in error, please check the number and try again. Otherwise, press star and you will be transferred to our directory. Beep! Press 404 for Martin Luther King Jr. Press 1204 for Fred Hampton. Press 912 for Stephen Biko. Press 706 for Sonia Massey. Press 110 for Tyree Nichols. Press 221 for Malcolm X. Press 223 for Ahmaud Aubrey. Press 313 for Breonna Taylor. Press 226 for Trayvon Martin. Press 713 for Sandra Bland. Press 525 for George Floyd. Press 924 for Marcellus Williams. Press star pound for all school massacres. Beep. We're sorry, but the martyr you are trying to reach is no longer in service. Press 0 to speak with Jesus on the main line so you can tell him what you want. Beep. Your estimated wait time is maybe 2 late minutes. Disclaimer, he may answer, but just know that only God's will be done in your circumstance. Callers tend to have similar outcome, death on repeat, guaranteeing #fame posthumously, making martyrdom a reality. Beep. We're sorry, but we are experiencing extremely high call volume at this time. If you would like to hold your place in line, press 1 and we will return your call as soon as possible. Beep. Thank you. I see the number you are calling from is HASHTAG. If this is correct, press 1. If not, press 2 to leave a different number. Beep! We're sorry, but all circuits are busy at this time. Please retry the number and call again. Thank you for calling Melanin Matters. Goodbye.
When routine bites hard and ambitions are low, and resentment rides high, but emotions won't grow, and we're changing our ways, taking different roads. Waking up every day with an anchor of dread holding me from wanting to step out of the bedroom, fearing the looming outcome of emotional Russian roulette. The normalization of instability had finally taken its toll. 4 years, 4 months of a failing relationship riddled with fear, anxiety, depression, self loathing, and miscommunication was coming to a head. We both knew a storm was coming. We just had no idea how damaging it was going to be. We were as ill prepared ending this journey as we were when we started. If Murphy's Law manifests itself into relationship, this was it. This was us. This was our reality. We were both held responsible for the creation of this black hole that has dawned in the presence of where fiery passion once thrived. Why is the bedroom so cold? You turned away on your side. Is my timing that flawed? Our respect runs so dry, yet there's still this appeal that we've kept through our lives. We had waited nearly a decade for our love to finally blossom. Our chemistry was undeniable, or so it seemed. Like all promising scientific theories, this hypothesis needed to be put to the test. The unique set of obstacles we conquered made us believe that infinitely that the catch was going to be worth the chase. Yet reality did not meet expectations for the both of us. Yet we clung on to hope like the face paint we wore in public, the belief that our efforts were not in vain, that we would not succumb to our wounds in this battlefield of our love. Do you cry out in your sleep? All my failings exposed. There's a taste in my mouth as desperation takes hold, just that something so good just can't function no more. Unresolved trauma before and during this relationship had a way of undoing our sutures every time the opportunity presented itself. Now that the war is over, we can finally heal. However, we now bear the scars of our past that the naked eye cannot see. PTSD. As we walk in silence on our different roads, navigating through the wreckage of the streets of our heart ghettos, all I see is danger. Always danger. I do wish you nothing but the best. However, it hurts me to see the mountain of our love crumble into the sea of memories, as memories of your face begin to fade away. Love has torn us apart.
A lot of people out there are calling me hardcore. Yeah, a lot of people out there are calling me cold and calloused. A lot of people thinking I'm living on the edge, that I'm insane in the membrane, and I'm like a time bomb, and I could go ballistic in any second. And all those things could be true, yeah, but that doesn't ignore the fact that I'm here in Viridian City for one reason and one reason only. I want to be the very best like no one ever was, yeah! To catch 'em all is my real test and to train 'em is my cause, dig it! History beckons the Macho Man Randy Savage in the Pokemon universe. I'm walking a fine line between life and immortality, or perhaps sanity and insanity. Yeah, perhaps the Macho Madness has consumed me, but soon enough the Kanto region will feel my poly. Yeah. I'm gonna do the thing in the ring with my Nido King. Gonna bite you with my Raichu. Gonna make you croak with my Machoke. Gonna eradicate you with my Eradicate. And you will fear the might of my Dragon Knights. Yeah, you have more of a chance of crawling through the eye of a sewing needle than you and your Pokemon do at being able to handle the Machoke madness, yeah! My Pokemon will be all over the place, and your Pokemon will be helpless to look to the left, to look to the right, to spin around 360 degrees when all they gotta do is look up because that's where my Pokemon are gonna be, on top, then, now, and forever, yeah! And this message goes out to every gym leader in the land. You've been put on notice because comparatively speaking, your Pokemon are nothing but grains of sand in the Sahara Desert, yeah. And my Pokemon team is the entire desert! Many grains of sand have fallen by the hands of my Mecha powers, yeah. My Pokemon are the lords and masters of the universe, and there's nothing that's gonna keep us down for long. Because in reality, we are the cream of the crop. Yeah, and we'll rise to the top in any battle, truth unraveled. No promises, just guarantees. Ooh, yeah!
When you fight with the person you love, your grasp loosens as you're now trying to hold on with broken hands. And it's been like this for years. From the money issues that had us changing and exchanging our goodwill in as currency, to do the shit we did more currently, and that's worry we could never decide to bear down together through the flurries these nights held disdain and anticipation of tomorrow's pain. We don't speak when we're angry, and I called her a bitch one day. And the tension squeezed the photos on the wall, and glass shattered between us. Relationship beat down, bad, bloody between us. There wasn't a thing between us except differences. You're my first love, my first friend from a distance. I miss this life that I thought we may have let go of too soon. I couldn't have you to myself, so the years that went by felt stagnant, and I cried acid. It just made shit worse. My eyes cursed because I seen shit. I seen shots split our world down the middle, unfathomable but admirable. The way we encourage judgment to disassemble function, so the parts that were left are just the blood from my knives when I cut, mixed with the ones from her wrists. When to the world she had succumbed, I loved you, but this hurts my soul. I told anybody who would entertain my tears through the phone, I loved you, and it felt like Dante's Inferno set up camp in the pit of my stomach and the lungs in my chest. With every breath, it was another degree of separation where we only see each other when we make 360s. I'm still spinning, whirlwinding, split personality where one's pure and one's a sinner. I asked you to pray with me when things didn't go right, and I found myself pacing around your hospital bed where I stayed beside you as I held your hand. A mother's love is carried by her son. How appropriate that at the end of your physical existence, our hands are locked. I screamed, hoping it would reach God as if to say, stop, are you sure? There's gotta be someone else who can soar. Your breaths touched the floor and it was cold as winter winds and zero below. My face hurt, my body ached, my head was thumping. Who the fuck is playing drums? I heard the angels coming and tried to switch the song. I'm unarmed, but the world still harms me. Nothing to lose after you, and I'm not numb. I feel everything. My heart breaks so often. I'm also certain, even if you put together the pieces, won't fit the same. No, I'm not okay. And that's okay. But it still don't change shit. Roses are red, but maybe while inside as buds, they turn blue like blood does. It's the oxygen that helps them if they decide not to bleed. If I decide not to breathe, then my breath was taken away and chills my arms, which cools the heart on my sleeve. I'm feeling cold, y'all. Titanic rose, y'all. This life is built on convenience and accessibility. It's the easy road, y'all. Impenetrable from the aspect of dreams. I let the roses wilt because it hurts my neck to keep my head up high. I'm not used to it. Stuck in this garden on the pursuit of happiness, but it won't pull over. So we gotta go. Ream souls, redeem foes, serene holds a heavenly hug to make the roses feel better, whether they care or not. Swing low. These chariots, fire, and roses pose as harlots, classy and desirable, multifaceted but ignitable. It's getting awfully warm. Transpired into the most beautiful beams of light. It's truly insanity, but it's magnificent. The vision is in hand like penmanship. It's true grit, and grits are the source of every grain consumed in my body, put together to make my past like lynchings that thrill my skin. Shrill shrieks and smart ass grins walk across sunlight like air bubbles, assure my soul that the possibility of leaving this earth sounds simply scrumptious. It's something I want. I'm wanted, but they don't really know what for. We watch blue roses in admiration of their rarity. All we can think is to touch it, but that leaves it in ruins. But what's brewing, strewn across strings like holiday popcorn, it's blue roses, and contradicted what beauty means, because if it's skin deep, you'll never see if I don't expose myself. I can't get out of this skin fast enough to know what I look like in spirit. I fear it, not fearless, because I'm scared to death of everything. Naturally, you can see it in my face of this mental illness. Well, that's where my thorns are. So unless you can find a place in my head, you're risking everything. Are you ready to leave this life? Blue rose petals dashed across the former you, or are you the clone lab created? But I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I stand blue like funeral flowers. You see colors, I see blue, because this melancholy has my melanin calling me by names I'm not familiar with. And I whisper, connecting dots on the goosebumps on my skin, saying, hey, baby boy, maybe I was a miracle. Maybe the one that gave me life possibly could have saved yours. It's all about balance, right? I wasn't supposed to be here then, and you should be here now. I haven't dreamt about you lately, but it's okay, because I feel like I'm underwater when I cry in my sleep. Sleep paralysis paralleled the malice attempts. I'm a peril catalyst that pairs all analysts with dream interpreters, but I ain't seen dreams since I seen my mama breathe. That knot in your throat, those sweaty palms, that uncomfortable shit, bask in it. Don't fight it. Don't forget. Just sit. That's what it's like to be inside my body multiple times daily, and mama still isn't here. So this red nose will always be blue. A lonely heart is standing at the gates of heaven trying to get a glimpse of you. Can you just tell her to come to the gate? Just for a moment. I have a blue rose for her. It's me, God. Please. Just one moment. I won't even blink so I can maximize the time. Extend the story. My mother is one of the most beautiful women to grace this earth's surface. She fulfilled her purpose, but this poem is going to dig deeper into what made every moment with her worth it. She instilled in me so many different things with the intent of getting very close to perfect, but I also had many siblings, and that shifted the culture of our household. I swear, my mama was the best. She even fueled my creativity through her threats. To have a woman who comes up to your chest, threaten to kick you in the neck, is a different type of disrespect. She would really come with her best, and it was always emphasis on touch. I'll beat the black off you type touch. Have you ever been whooped with a hanger or a belt or a comb or a brush? I think I knew fear through that adrenaline rush. One sibling do something, then it was trouble for all of us. We were completely ungrateful, like unicorns not appreciating their horns. Boy, one day my mom whipped my ass so bad, my life flashed before my eyes. I was at my own funeral listening to somebody singing a song. The whole damn church started singing along, sounds off. You ever seen somebody cocked back with a drumstick to hit a gong. Well, that's the same place that my mama came from, way back here, and I was eye to eye with fear that I never knew I had. Have you ever had your life flash before your eyes twice? Y'all know I even saw myself doing this poem right here on this page, right here on this stage. I even thought I heard God's voice, but it was really just another moment and her taking another turn. Lord forbid we were individuals as kids, because if somebody didn't confess, we were all little ungrateful sons of a bit. I'm just kidding. She didn't cuss a whole lot, but her words hit like lightning, and lightning strikes in more than one spot. Black Mama parables, it just made sense, and she had to adjust playing both parents, so I never really knew who was tearing my butt up. Yes, I love her, but maybe not in those moments. From my core, it hurt on impact, but somehow my butt was never sore. My mom had some dark powers. Maybe that was Black girl magic, the ability to make sense of reality disappear. How on earth or out of earth did I really get here? But I love my Black mama, and she made me happy. But no, I'm not bringing you the belt to whoop me, nor am I handing it whatever it is you just threw at me.